Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Caitanya Caritāmrta class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuro Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
Hare
राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Chaitanya Charitamrita class. We are discussing from Madhya lila. We are on chapter 12 and we are discussing uh, the wonderful pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as he is in Jagannath Puri. So far we have discussed in this chapter, the chapter begins by Pratap Rudra Maharaj's anxiety to meet Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was ready to become a beggar. He says in the beginning also, previously also he had told, Yadi Mahaprabhurna Pai Kripadhan, Kripa Rajya Kiba Deha Sabakaran. If I don't get the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is the use of this life? What is the use of this kingdom? And in this chapter also we heard Pratap Rudra Maharaj, he says, if I don't get mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I am ready to become a beggar. Yadi mora kripa na koribe gaur hari rajya chhadi yogi hoya haiba bhikhari. I am ready to become a beggar if I don't get mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he sent a letter like this to Bhattacharya Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya became very anxious. If the king becomes a beggar, what will happen to the kingdom? He went with to all the devotees and he told, this is a situation of the king. We have to do something. And Nityanand Prabhu, he thought, maybe we'll go and we will just glorify the qualities of Pratap Rudra. They all go in front of Mahaprabhu and nobody is able to say anything. Everybody is fearing. Because Mahaprabhu had told, if you tell me again to meet the king, I'll go from here. I'll go to Alarnath. Mahaprabhu tells, you want to say something, but you are not saying what is the problem, what is the issue. Then Nityanand Prabhu tells, actually, we have come with a petition. We know that you don't want to meet the king, but if he doesn't see you, he is ready to become a mendicant. Mahaprabhu gives various arguments, and ultimately it was decided that they'll send a Bahiravastra of Lord Sri Chaitanya. As soon as as soon as this Pratap Rudra Maharaj receives the outer garment of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he starts worshipping the outer cloth like Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya himself. And then ultimately, Pratap Rudra Maharaj had come with Ramananda Raya. He comes and he starts glorifying Pratap Rudra Maharaj's devotion. And Ramananda Raya, he was expert in dealings. Rajmantri Ramananda Vyavahare Nipun. Rajapriti Kohit Ramaila Prabhurman. So Ramanand Rai was expert. He was a politician, he was diplomat. He very nicely, he glorified, always he would glorify Pratap Rudra Maharaj in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And ultimately he made a request. Can you please meet him? Mahaprabhu says, I can't. Shukla Vastre Mashibindu Aichine Lukai Sanyasira Alpachitra Sarvaloka. This one black spot on the behavior of a sannyasi. The sannyasi is meeting a Vishay, a king. Entire world will speak about it. So what I can do is I can meet his son. So ultimately, Pratap Rudra Maharaj's son was brought. And this son, he had come dressed in a yellow garment. He was very beautiful. And ultimately, Mahaprabhu, when he saw, he remembered Krishna. He embraced this son, and the son started dancing in ecstasy. And Mahaprabhu tells that from now on, every day, please come and meet. So we have discussed till verse number 56. Pratap Rudra Maharaj, when he embraced his son, he also developed feelings of symptoms of ecstasy. Then Ramanand Rai, I think, we have discussed till verse number 56. So Ramanand Rai then went and informed the king that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has accepted your son as his associate. And every day he would come to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And all the devotees were very happy and satisfied seeing this wonderful mercy which Mahaprabhu had shown to to his son. So Ramanand Rai, Pratap Rudra Maharaj, as soon as he embraces his son, he also develops feelings of ecstasy. Prabhu's Parshe Rajaputrera Hila Premavesh Shveda Kampa Shrustamba Pulaka Vishesh. So we are continuing from 63rd verse now. In 63rd verse, it is described how Mahaprabhu, when he embraced the son of Pratap Rudra Maharaj, he developed feelings of ecstasy. Krishna Krishna kohe nache kore rudan, tara bhagya dekhi shlagha kore bhaktagan. So this small boy, when he was embraced by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also started dancing in ecstasy, chanting Krishna Krishna. And upon seeing these wonderful bodily symptoms in the body of Pratap Rudra Maharaj's son, all the devotees were glorifying the fortune of this small boy. In Caitanya Caritāmrta, this is a very, very consistent behavior of the devotees. Whenever they see somebody getting mercy of the Lord, they are very happy. They glorify that devotee. And in glorifying the devotees also, that person also advances. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was telling once that just by glorifying a devotee for the wonderful progress he or she is making, a devotee can also advance equally. It is so easy, Maharaj was saying, but it is not so easy because in the conditioned state, we start thinking why I am not getting mercy, why he is getting mercy. He came after me. In fact, I only brought him to Krishna consciousness. And he is getting more mercy than me. How is this? So this envy, it is very, very deeply rooted in our hearts. So therefore, to glorify a devotee, when he is advancing, it is very difficult. That's why bhakti is so very simple, but it is at the same time very difficult. It is not easy. Simply by glorifying a devotee, we also advance. But it is so very difficult to glorify with a simple heart. Out of courtesy, we may speak some good words about a devotee who has received mercy, but to glorify wholeheartedly is a different thing. So here we see all the devotees, Shlagha Kari, they were really happy, glorifying the fortune of this child. They praised his great fortune. So this son of Pratap Rudra Maharaj was dancing and chanting. So Mahaprabhu calmed that boy. He was entering his youth and ordered him, from now onwards, you please come every day. So Ramanand Rai, he departed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the other devotees, they were very happy to see the small boy. The small boy, he also returned back to his palace. And just by embracing his son, Pratap Rudra Maharaj developed same ecstatic symptoms. Say haite bhagyavan raja nandan Prabhu bhakta gana madhya hoila ekajan. Say haite bhagyavan. From then on, this fortunate prince became the associate of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu bhakta gana madhya hoila ekajan. He became one of the associates, regular associates of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are seeing here one person who had no connection with Krishna, no connection with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just one embrace of the Lord made him a pure devotee. We should never ever judge anyone based on his present devotional status. Who will advance when? That Krishna can decide. Somebody can come to bhakti and immediately advance. We may not think that, we should not think, oh, he has come just now. Why I should accept him as a very, very great personality? When the Lord shows mercy, anything is possible. Srila Prabhupada writes, Prabodhananda Saraswati has written, Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavatam Sri Gauramevastu Maha. This Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, he has written a beautiful verse, Kaivalyam Narakayate Tridash Purakasha Pushpayate Durdantendriya Kala Sarpa Patali Protkat Damstrayate. The last verse says, Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavatam. When Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestows his glance, merciful glance on somebody, anything can happen. Prabhupada writes, if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply glanced at someone for a moment, that person immediately turned into one of the most confidential devotees of the Lord. The prince came to see the Lord for the first time, but by the Lord's mercy, the boy immediately became the topmost devotee. This was not in theory, but in practice. It is not a theoretical statement or just by merciful glance one can get transformed. Practically, it was happening there. And Mahaprabhu had done this in South India also. His mode of preaching was very simple. He would just embrace people and make them pure devotees. And he would impart his energy in that person, Shakti Sancharya. That devotee will go to his village. He would embrace other people. They would also get ecstatic symptoms. So that's how Mahaprabhu made the entire Dakshina Desh into pure devotee. Imata Vaishnav Kaila Sarva Dakshina Desh. So it was not a theory for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had shown this by his personal example. Prabhupada writes, the logic of Nagna Matrika Nyaya states that if a person is not elevated on such and such date, he cannot become an exalted devotee overnight, as it were. So this Nagna Matrika Nyaya logic Nyaya is, if the girl, small girl, when a girl is a small child, she can move without clothes. But when the same girl grows up and she has kids, somebody cannot say why she is now not roaming like that without clothes. No, that is not a logic. So if one person is not showing the symptoms of advanced devotee now, You cannot claim that he will never develop a symptoms of advanced devotee. He'll never advance. Prabhupada writes, this particular instance offers evidence to contradict that theory. The theory of Nagna Matrika Nyaya. Oh, it is not that somebody cannot become advanced overnight. It is possible. Lord's mercy can do anything. Prabhupada tells, on the previous day, the prince was a simple person, simple boy. And the next day, he was counted as the topmost devotees of the Lord. How is it possible? Anything is possible by the causeless mercy of the Lord. So that's how it is very, very important to not judge anyone. Anyone can become advanced anytime. So it is our duty to not judge any devotee from his current or her current status. Just be patient, and we will see for sure the mercy of the Lord acting in the lives. And we have seen many such cases. Suddenly devotees become very enthusiastic, charged up. Many students we have seen, they were not so active in the process of bhakti, and suddenly one day, somehow they became so very absorbed in bhakti, advanced. Yat karunya kataksha vaibhavavatam. Mahaprabhu's mercy can do anything. We should never ever estimate and judge the mercy of the Lord. As it is said, if you want to use your logic in understanding the mercy of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya, Sri Chaitanya Daya Karaha Vichar Korile Chitte Pabe Chamatkar. So if you want to use your logic, you are a logician, use your logic to understand how Mahaprabhu is merciful. You will be amazed how Mahaprabhu can show mercy to anyone, and he can make a person advanced overnight. That is the process of Krishna consciousness. After all things we are doing in the process of bhakti is to get the mercy of the Lord. There are two ways a person becomes siddha. Sadhana siddha, nitya siddha. Sadhana means the practice, and that practice attracts the mercy of the Lord. So ultimately, kripa siddha or sadhana siddha, they are both advancing because of kripa. That sadhana of the bhakta attracts the kripa of the Lord. All our sadhana is for one purpose, to attract the mercy of the Lord. So that is what is described here. When mercy of the Lord comes, anyone can get transformed. We know the story of a person. He was a hippie. And once Srila Prabhupada was walking with the disciples in a park. And one person, he was completely dirty, covered with very soiled clothes, all disheveled hair. And he was just lying down, intoxicated. But as soon as he saw Srila Prabhupada coming, he got somehow inspired. And he came in front and offered obeisances to Prabhupada. And he said, I want to come with you. Prabhupada mercifully allowed him. And this person, he was smelling bad. All the devotees were thinking why he is coming. And this devotee, this person, his name was Peter. He looked like a madman. He would just lie down in the hallway and he would just take prasad and just lie down. Don't do any seva. And people would come and they would look at him. Who is this person? What is he doing in this Hare Krishna temple? So the devotees, they wrote a letter. Prabhupada had left after a few days. Devotees wrote a letter. Prabhupada, this Peter, they would call him crazy Peter. He's not doing anything. He's just lying down, eating prasad. Should we throw him out? Prabhupada said, can't you tolerate him? Just tolerate him as I have tolerated you. So the devotees could not do anything. They just left that crazy Peter, whatever he would do. Giriraj Maharaj, he tells, he met that same person after 20 years in New Vrindavan temple. And he recognized, oh, he's crazy Peter. So he asked one devotee, who is that person? That devotee said, oh, Maharaj, you don't know. He is Kushakrata Prabhu. And Giriraj Maharaj heard Kushakrit Prabhu. Kushakrit Prabhu was famous for translating all the Gaudiya literatures into English. And Maharaj was just amazed how Prabhupada's mercy transformed such a person into a great scholar. So that is the mercy of the Lord, which comes through his devotees. Yat karunya kataksha vaibhavatam. We should never judge anyone. Prabhupada writes, Lord is omnipotent, all powerful and almighty, and he can act as he likes. Hey mat Mahaprabhur Bhaktagana Sange Nirantara Kriya Kare Sankirtana Range. In this way, Mahaprabhu acted in the society of his devotees, and he would perform his pastimes of spreading Sankirtan. And he would always be accompanied by some of the prominent devotees like Advaitacharya. Advaitacharya would invite Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his house for prasad. Mahaprabhu would go with his devotees, he would honor prasad, they would have very good time, wonderful time associating with devotees. That's how Lord was passing his days in jubilation. In due course of time, Rath Yatra arrived. The time came for Rath Yatra. And all the devotees were very, very happy, enthusiastic to participate in Rath Yatra. Mahaprabhu, he was also very eager to celebrate this wonderful festival. And for this festival, devotees from Bengal would come in great numbers. They would stay in Jagannath Puri for 4 months. This was a wonderful festival. This festival was very, very dear to the Lord. So Mahaprabhu, he wanted to celebrate this festival. But before this celebration of Rath Yatra, there is a festival of Gundicha Marjan. This Gundicha Marjan has many, many wonderful lessons. Our heart has many anarthas. Nishiddhachara kutinati jiva himsan labha puja pratishtadi upashakhagan. There is a bhakti lata creeper which is growing in our heart, and along with that we are watering this bhakti lata creeper with Shravana Kirtana. Shravana Kirtana jale karai sinchan. But if a gardener is not careful, along with the creepers, there are some weeds which also grow. What are these weeds? These weeds are our anarthas. 6 types of weeds are described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sanatan Siksha. It comes in the 19th chapter of Madhya lila. Nishiddhachara, Putinati, Jiva Himsan. Nishiddhachara means wrong behavior. Putinati, diplomacy. Jiva Himsan, hurting other living beings. Labha, puja, pratishtha, adi. Desire for name, fame, prestige. These are all creepers. These are all weeds which grow along with the Bhakti-lata creeper. And a devotee should be very, very careful to uproot these weeds regularly. Otherwise, the nature of the weeds are they absorb all the nutrients, all the water which is meant for the Bhakti-lata creeper. And in due course of time, the creeper will get cripple will just dry. And the devotee will start thinking, well, I don't think so. This process is working. So we have to be really careful to uproot these weeds, these anarthas. And this whole story of Gundicha Marjan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is performing this wonderful pastime of Gundicha Marjan to tell us so many wonderful lessons in our practice of bhakti, sadhana bhakti. So Mahaprabhu, he called for Kashi Mishra, then he called for superintendent of Jagannath temple, then he called for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They all came, they offered their respects, and they begged, oh my Lord, what can we do for you? So Mahaprabhu, he started requesting them, please give me permission to clean the Gundicha temple. All of them said, Podicha kahe ami sab sevaka tomar, ek tomar ichha se hi kartavya amar. So, superintendent, he told, oh my Lord, ami sab sevak tomar, we are all your servants. Whatever you decide, that is our orders. That is our instructions, our duty. Ye tumhari ichha se hi kartavya amar. Whatever you desire, as it is said, your desire is our command. Whatever you desire, it is our duty to perform that. Because the king has already given us the order to fulfill whatever desires you have. Whatever you need, that should be done. King has given instructions. So therefore, you don't have to request us, you have to just order us. And they say, in fact, the service of cleaning this temple is not befitting you, but we understand that this is the pastime which you want to perform. So we will provide whatever you need. To wash the temple, you need brooms, you need water pots. We will provide everything. So now only I'll go and get all the materials needed for cleaning the temple. So as soon as Mahaprabhu gave this order, superintendent, he went and he ordered for hundreds of pots and the brooms to be brought. They were all given to the Lord. Next day, the Lord, he took all his associates. He personally smeared chandan on each and every devotee. He gave a broom in hands of each and every devotee. And he also went with them to start cleaning. So this wonderful process of bhakti should be very, very enthusiastically performed. So Mahaprabhu was not thinking, I'll just delegate the services and I will just do my bhajan. As Srila Prabhupada would say, bhakti is not an idle meditation. It is a sort of cultivation. So we have to personally cultivate this process of bhakti by serving the Lord, by enthusiastically serving. Utsaha, Nishchay, Dhairya. Enthusiasm is very important. Even if we are not enthusiastic, we should act enthusiastic. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his Bhaktiyaloka, Bhaktiyaloka is a small book, essay. It is a compilation of various essays written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur on the first 4 verses of Nectar of Instruction. And they are combined to form a book called as Bhaktiyaloka. In that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, enthusiasm is the life of Shraddha. If we want our Shraddha to grow, we have to be enthusiastic. There is no excuse. There is no other way to develop Shraddha. We have to act enthusiastically in various things we are doing in our process of Krishna consciousness. Mahaprabhu, he was very enthusiastic. to cleanse the temple. If you want to cleanse our heart, we have to be really enthusiastic. Only enthusiastic service then can cleanse the heart of a devotee of all these anarthas. By serving, the knowledge which we are hearing becomes realization. Arthabhavam vinishchitya pratitasya vinatmanah yachapi yushmacharana sevayaham paranude. Vidurji is telling to Maitreya, "Oh Maitreya Muni, you have given me so many instructions. All those informations, all the knowledge which you have given will become realization if I'll serve you. Otherwise, artha abhava vinishchitya, I'll become bereft of the meaning of that knowledge." So enthusiastic service is very important to cleanse the heart of a devotee. So the Lord gave a broom in the hands of each and every devotee, and along with all the devotees, he also went to Gundicha temple. Lord started cleaning everything inside the temple very nicely, including the ceiling. He was himself doing it. He was not just telling devotees to do, he was himself doing it. He took up to cleaning of Simhasan, the place where Lord sits. He cleansed the Simhasan very nicely, again kept it in the original place, and all the companions, all the associates, and the Lord himself, they were cleaning each and every part of Gundicha temple, all the various buildings, all the small temples, uh, the ceiling, they were cleansed. They were all swept very nicely. Then they cleaned the area which was in between Kirtan hall and the main temple hall. Charidike Shatabhakta Sammarjana Kori Apani Shodhena Prabhu Shikhana Sabari. Charidike Shatabhakta, hundreds of devotees were cleaning the entire temple all around. And Mahaprabhu was personally doing it. Why? Apani Shodhena Prabhu Shikhana Sabari. The Lord wanted to teach everyone. Mahaprabhu, he knew that giving instructions is not sufficient. We have to show devotees how to do it. Apani Achari Prabhu Shikhainu Sabare. So whatever Mahaprabhu has done, he has done to show the world how to practice bhakti. In fact, that's why Lord has come in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, he told Sarva Dharman Parityajya and he gave so many instructions, and he was thinking, he went back, he was thinking, nobody is actually doing it. Nobody is following what I said. So what I have to do is, I have to personally come them. They will not follow. Apani Achari Prabhu Shikhaimu Sabare. And that's why he gave instructions to his leading disciples also, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. He told them. He gave 4 instructions to Rupa Sanatan Goswami. Tumi koriha bhakti shastrera prachar, Mathuraya lupta tirthera koriha uddhar, Vrindavane Krishna seva Vaishnava achar, Bhakti smriti shastra koriha prachar. You preach this Krishna consciousness, build temples, excavate holy places, and you set the right standards of bhakti by your own example. So Mahaprabhu has done this by his own example. He has instructed his devotees to act in a way to inspire other devotees. So here Mahaprabhu again is doing the same thing. Apani Shodhena Prabhu Shikhano Sabare. Premollase Shodhana Loyena Krishna Nam. Bhaktagana Krishna Kahe Kore Nijakam. Nobody was morose. Nobody was thinking why Mahaprabhu has given this service. Premollase Shodhena. Everybody was joyfully cleaning the temple. Services should be performed in a joyful mood. It is a very common thing if the servant If in the house of a billionaire, there are many servants, and one servant is creeping while he's doing his services, what the millionaire or billionaire will say? He'll say, you just go, you don't want to serve. Why are you serving in a very sad mood? I don't want to punish you. You just go. Krishna, he is Supreme Lord. He has unlimited devotees serving him. Thousands of Lakshmis are serving. Lakshmi Sahasrasvatasem Brahmasevyamanam. And this is the opportunity given to us also to serve the Lord. And if we are not serving in the right mood, happy mood, Krishna will not accept it. He will not be happy. When we are chanting, when we are reading, when we are doing our services, we should be happily doing Premollase Shodena. And what they were doing? Loena Krishna Nam. They were chanting also. It was not that they were just absorbed in Seva, but background they were chanting also. That is very important. As S.B. Keshav Maharaj, he was telling once, one devotee told him, it is nice that you are absorbed in your services, but do you know, it is also a service to be absorbed. So while we are doing our daily services, serving the Lord, cleaning the temple, doing preaching, doing book distribution, cooking, whatever we are doing, we should be conscious that I am doing it for Krishna. Otherwise, in the due course of doing our services, the mode of passion can sink in. And we may not remember Krishna. Premollase Shodena Loena Krishna Nam. They were chanting also regularly. Bhakta Gana Krishna Kahe Kore Nijukam. So all these devotees, they were chanting Krishna, Krishna, and they were doing their seva. Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. That is a sadhaka bhakta. Doing the daily duties, but always remembering Krishna. And these devotees, they were oblivious of their personal comforts. They were not thinking, oh, so much service to be done. They were oblivious to the personal comforts. That defines love. What is love? When there is no care for personal impediments, personal discomforts, unhappiness. That is called as love. Love means I don't count my problems. I don't count how many things I have done to serve the Lord. No. That is not love. If you are counting, that is not love. Madhavendra Puri was not counting. So many problems have come in my life. Taking Chandan from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan was not an easy thing. But he was happily doing it. He was not thinking, my Lord has given me this order. All the discomforts, they were the source of pleasure. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Tomar sevaya dukkha hoye jata, seyo to parama sukha, seva sukha dukkha parama sampada nashaye avidya dukkha. Oh my Lord, whatever distresses I am going through in your service, that is my greatest treasure. Parama sampat. Why? Because that sampatti, that pain will reduce the pain of ignorance. So all the devotees, they were happily doing it. Dhuli dhusaratano dekhite shobhan kaha kaha ashru jale kore sammarjan. So Mahaprabhu was also working equally hard, even much more than all the devotees. His entire beautiful golden body was covered with the dust. Dhuli Dhusar Tanu Dekhite Shobhan. It was really beautiful, transcendentally beautiful. And while cleaning, he was so happy and absorbed in ecstasy, he was crying tears. And sometimes he would just clean with his tears. That is a that is the expression of love. The tears naturally come out of the eyes when somebody is extremely happy. So the chance to serve, it is a great fortune. And that makes our devotee really happy. So after the entire place was cleansed nicely, the Bhog Mandap was cleansed, the Garbhagriha was cleansed, Simhasan of the Lord was cleansed, then all the residential quarters were cleansed one after another. Lord is systematically doing all the cleaning work. We should approach Bhakti in a very, very systematic way. Bhakti is ultimately we have to come to the level of Raganuga, spontaneous devotion, but that spontaneous devotion should be very, very systematic. It should be approached in a systematic way. That is called as sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means when we are doing things in a very, very regulated way. And that's what is Mahaprabhu showing here. Systematically, he is cleaning each and every part of the temple. So now, after this, the entire grooming is happening. Mahaprabhu collected all the straws and the grains and the sand particles, and he took his own cloth and he collected the entire dust and he threw it outside. All the devotees following this example of Mahaprabhu, they also took their own cloths, started collecting the dust and throwing it outside. Now, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is a very expert manager here. He is managing the entire cleaning and he is giving everybody a target. Prabhu kahe ke kato koriyache sammarjan trinadhuli dekhilei janiba parishram. Now he is giving a target to each and every devotee. Prabhu kahe ke kato koriyache sammarjan. I can tell how much you have labored, how much you have cleansed the temple by seeing the pile of dust you have created. Trina dhuli dekhilehi janiba parishram. I'll see the amount of labor you have done by seeing the pile of the dust and the straw you have collected. So Mahaprabhu is giving a goal, short-term goal and the long-term goal. Now you are cleaning, but I will judge according to the amount of dirt. In the process of devotional service, we should have the short-term goals and long-term goals. What I'm doing now, what I want to achieve. And based on that, we should work. We should practice bhakti with that intensity. Because if we know that the practice of bhakti will has the capacity to take me to that destination, and currently I am really lagging behind, then we will work accordingly, we'll increase our endeavors. And the path of bhakti which we have chosen, it is not so easy. It is simple, not so easy. Because the amount of work is really, really big. To clean our heart, to develop connection with the Lord, to develop love for the Lord, it is a tall order. As Narad Muni tells to Tanpad, after Dhruva, he had gone to the forest. Narad Muni taught him this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He told him how to meditate on the form of the Lord. And Dhruva started doing tapasya. Intense tapasya. Narad Muni comes back and tells Tanpad, Sudushkaram karam kritva lokapalaira viprabho aishatya chirato rajan yasho vipulavam stava. He tells, O king, your son has done the most difficult task in the entire creation. What he has done? she has pleased the Lord. So it is not so easy to please the Lord. It is sudushkaram karma. Very, very difficult. So what we should do, we should make our goals. Now I'll do this, tomorrow this, after 1 year, after 5 years. We have to chalk out our plan of advancement in Krishna consciousness. We may say, but ultimately it depends on the mercy of the Lord. But we have to make our endeavors. And seeing our endeavor, Lord will show mercy. If we are not making plans of our advancement, then we cannot think why I am not advancing. We have to make our plans to advance in Krishna consciousness. Now I am here, where do I want to go? Based on that, I'll make decisions. Based on that, I'll plan my life. Based on that, I'll increase my process of sadhana bhakti. And that's what Lord wants from everyone. Trinna dhuli dekhile janiba parishram. And even though all the associates of the Lord, they collected on pile, one pile, the pile collected by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was much bigger than all of them. So that was the enthusiasm of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ei mat abhyantara korila majan puna sabha kare dila koriya vantan. So in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he cleansed the temple nicely, and then what he is doing? Again, he is delegating the cleaning. Puna sabha kare dila koriya vantan. Again, he allotted areas for the devotees to now clean with water. So, not with water. The second time grooming. The first grooming was done. So, the first grooming was like removing the gross anarthas in the heart. After we start practicing bhakti, the gross anarthas, they get cleansed off. It also takes a long time. But the gross, big grains and the stones and the straw particles, they were like gross anarthas which are there in the heart. After all of that is cleansed off, the Lord is not so much happy with just doing the superficial work. The Lord wants to clean the temple completely. We should also work to clean our heart completely without anything left. No anarthas, not even a particle. So now Mahaprabhu is delegating his seva. Okay, you do this, you do that. Sukshma dhuli trinakankar sabakara hadu hal mata shodhana kara prabhurantahapur. Now says, please focus on the finer straws, finer dust particles. Sukshma dhuli trina kankar sabkara hadu. Now look for the finer particles. Please clean the temple of the Lord very nicely. Bhalamata shodhanakara prabhurantahapur. The inside of the temple, the heart should be cleansed very, very thoroughly. Then only we can allow Krishna. Then only Krishna will enter in the heart. So we have to approach bhakti very thoroughly. We cannot do a superficial job. Cleaning the heart should be a thorough job. And we have to really be intense. Otherwise, the superficial work doesn't please the Lord. Krishna doesn't like superficial devotees. Krishna likes a person who is really thorough in his activity, thorough in his practice of bhakti. No superficial practices. Intense. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Intense devotion only attracts Krishna. Bhalamata shodhanakara prabhurantahapur. Please clean the temple, inside the temple very nicely. So then, all the devotees and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they cleansed the temple second time. And Mahaprabhu was very happy to see such wonderful nicely cleansed temple. But that was not the end. As the devotees were sweeping the temple, there were hundreds of other devotees waiting with the water pots filled with water in their hands, waiting for the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As soon as Mahaprabhu he saw the entire temple is now swept very nicely, groomed, he called for these devotees to get water. And all these devotees, they got all the water pots, delivered them before the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first entered the main temple and he started throwing water right to the ceiling. And all the water, they started coming from the ceiling to the walls and started cleaning everything nicely. From the ceiling to the walls to the floor, everything was getting cleansed off very nicely. And then Mahaprabhu, he personally sat on the Simhasan of the Lord, cleaning the Simhasan with his own hands, with his own cloth. That was the dedication Mahaprabhu had. So as Mahaprabhu is cleaning and other devotees were bringing water, so Mahaprabhu had allotted the seva. Okay, this place you clean, this place this devotee should clean, and he personally chose to clean the Simhasan of the Lord. While doing our services, if we are in a position of leading devotees, we should know which seva should be delegated and which seva should be done by the leaders. The most important services should be done by the leaders. The area which requires maximum attention should be taken care of by the leader, by the most experienced devotee. And Mahaprabhu is showing by his personal example. He is himself cleaning the Garbhagraha, the Simhasan, especially Simhasan. So all the devotees, they began to wash, and everybody had a broom in his hand. They were cleaning the Lord. And now, bhakti is a very joyful process. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sukham kartum avyayam. So bhakti should not be performed in a tense mood, in a mood of anxiety, in a mood of, very sad state. As the devotees are grooming the temple, cleaning the temple, some devotees, they started pouring the water on the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And somebody was hiding and collecting that water and drinking it. And other devotees, they were asking him charity, please give me also that water. So it was a very jovial atmosphere while serving. So that is the process of bhakti. In the process of bhakti, we should always be happy. In fact, it is said a devotee cannot be but happy. If somebody is not happy in Krishna consciousness, that means there is some problem somewhere. Otherwise, the process of bhakti is itself Sandrananda Visheshatma. It is full of joy, full of bliss. If we are not experiencing that bliss in our lives, that means there is some problem somewhere in the practice. By default, a devotee becomes happy. Even in the midst of the problems and calamities, a devotee has a peaceful heart. Because ultimately the devotee knows whatever is happening in my life, it is planned by Krishna. So why I should be in anxiety? Of course, in the beginning, there may be an anxiety. When some problem comes in the life, suddenly, a devotee may go through anxieties. But it depends on how much we have absorbed the process of Krishna consciousness. To that extent, we will come out of that anxiety quickly. If we have not absorbed, imbibed the process nicely, it will take a lot of time to come out of that anxiety. But for a mature devotee, very quickly he comes back Very quickly, he becomes steady again. He gives up all the anxiety. Anxiety will come for sure, but it decides how much we have absorbed. That decides the time it will take for us to come out of that anxiety. And a mature devotee is always aware that whatever is happening in my life, it is the plan of the Lord. So bhakti is a completely joyful process. Susukham kartum avyam, kevala ananda kanda. So many things we hear about process of bhakti. One devotee, one person came to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, what do you do for recreation? Whole day you are chanting and doing this lecture, and what do you do for recreation? Prabhupada said, our whole life is recreation. Who gets up in the morning, 4 a.m. and starts dancing? We do it. So the process of bhakti is joyful. And the devotees, while doing their services, they are having a good time. So after the room was washed, the water was let out, and it was collecting in the place outside the temple. The Lord started mopping the entire place with his own cloths. Nij vastra paila prabhu griha sammarjan. Mahaprabhu nij vastre majila simhasan. Mahaprabhu personally started cleaning off the entire simhasan of the Lord. In the process of bhakti, there must be a sense of sacrifice. Mahaprabhu, he used his own cloth to clean the temple, to clean the simhasan. Nijya vastra majila simhasan. So the process of bhakti means the process of sacrifice. If sacrifice is not there, then it is not bhakti. Love means sacrifice. There is a difference between love and lust. Atmendriya pritivancha tare boli kam, Krishnendriya priticha dhare premana. So if somebody loves other person, that means he is ready to sacrifice for others. That is love. Love means sacrifice. And if you want to love the Lord, we have to sacrifice something. That is the process of yajna. So we'll stop here. We'll continue from 105th verse next time. Stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Shri Caitanya Caritāmrta ki jai.